Happy New Year's, YouTube. My name is Joseph Warren, and today I'm going to give you the top 4 things you can do in 2021 to make it your best year ever. Make sure you stick around for number 1 because it's a real doozy. Let's jump right into it. Once upon a time, there was a teacher, an elementary school teacher, and he was teaching his class all about the multiplication tables. As he was doing that, he was writing on the chalkboard all the multiples of 9. So we started with 9 times 0 equals 0, 9 times 1, and so on and so forth. As he was doing this, he noticed that he heard snickering behind him from the class. So he turned around and felt concerned and said, "What's the deal? Why are you guys snickering?" Suddenly, the entire class just burst out into laughter. The teacher, of course, felt a little bit embarrassed and was wondering if there was something wrong or something he had forgotten to do. So he said, "What's wrong?" And one of the kids worked up the courage to say, "You got one of the easiest ones wrong. You put 9 times 1 equals 14, and that's completely wrong." Suddenly, the entire class just burst out into laughter. The teacher felt like he had to gain control of the situation, so he decided to use it as a teaching moment. He said, "Yes, I did get that one wrong, but I did it on purpose because I wanted to prove a point. You guys were so focused on the one I got wrong that you ignored the other 9 that I got right." How often is that true of us in our lives? How often do we focus only on what's wrong and ignore all the things that are right in our life? If you're like me, it's very often. And that's why number 4 of the things to start doing in 2021 is to practice gratitude. Through gratitude, you can train your brain to focus on all the things that are right, which makes more right things and more things that can make you happy in your life. So there are many ways you can do it. My suggestion is to look for small things, maybe even tiny things that you can be grateful for. Things like the taste of a sip of coffee, a favorite song, your breath. Practice it with me. Take a deep breath in and then let it out. Now, before you do it again, don't hold your breath, but before you breathe in again, think about all the miracles that had to happen for you to be able to take that breath. Think about how lucky you are to be able to take a breath right now after this crazy year. So do it again with me. Take a deep breath in and then let it go. Did you notice a difference? When you focus on gratitude, you create more joy in your life. It's believed that we think 30,000 thoughts a day. So why not save a few for gratitude? You'll notice a drastic improvement in your life. You'll notice a drastic improvement in your life in 2021. Number 3, what was the happiest moment of the year 2020 for you? For me, one of the happiest moments occurred on a day when I was really stressed out and frankly just feeling kind of worn down. I was stressed out because I had a big event I was doing that day. I was running my first mastermind group to help people improve their finances. And I hadn't eaten all day, had been drinking coffee, like basically just chugging coffee, and I felt really on edge and really stressed out. So I finally had a good clear thought, and it was to go buy myself a salad at the store. So I left my office, I went to go get a salad, feeling kind of worn down, but then once I got it, I felt a little bit better. But it was no comparison to what happened on the way back to the office. As I was driving back, I was passing a busy intersection, and I noticed that there was a lady who was panhandling. And she was asking for change, and just by the look on her face, sometimes people say they're real or fake, but just by the look on her face and my gut feeling, I could tell that she really did need money. She looked very miserable. So I remembered something I had done earlier in the year. With a group of my friends, we had gotten together to make goodie bags for the homeless. This has been a crazy year, and we figured that could be something that could really help people. And the thought flashed in my mind, why don't I get out on this busy intersection, put on my hazard lights, maybe pull off to the side, and pull out the bag. And then all of a sudden, I felt all this flood of fear and all the things that could go wrong. I could look stupid. What if the light turns right as I'm doing it and everyone starts honking at me? What if I'm in the way or I get ran over? I was just thinking of all the things that could go wrong. But then suddenly I had another clear thought, and the thought was, just do it. So I went to my trunk, went to go pull out the goodie bag, gave it to the lady, and she had looked miserable before, but the look on her face just completely transformed and a huge smile formed on her face. She said, "Thank you so much. Could you please give me another one for my son?" And without a thought, I just went to my trunk, got her another one, and got back into my car and started driving. And as I was driving, it was just such a beautiful day. I was driving into the sunset. There were birds flying everywhere. And I literally felt like I was in a coming of age movie. I just had like an amazing feeling of just happiness and joy that I had done that. And that is why number 3 is to practice acts of kindness. Small acts of kindness. I believe it's important to start small rather than trying to take on the whole world at once and not starting at all. So start with being kind to yourself. Being kind in the thoughts you have to yourself, how you treat yourself. Treat yourself like you would maybe a good friend or someone that you care about, instead of being like, no, no, no. Through practicing small acts of kindness, you'll notice that it brings you a lot of joy. So my challenge for you for this year is to think about a cause that you're passionate about, something that you care about, and see how you can practice small acts of kindness in that area. And it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be something as simple as noticing someone looks sad and saying, "Hey, how's your day going?" Or smiling at a stranger. Remember, when one person gives, 2 people receive. Number 2, on Valentine's Day of this year, I was attending the wedding of one of my very good friends, a man named Sunny G, who's actually a comedian in town, if you'd like to look him up. He also owns a nonprofit called Love is Funny Texas, or LIFT, which helps blind people. While I was at his wedding reception, I was sitting next to a blind lady, and she was telling me all about how she makes money by owning vending machines. She said she puts them in businesses and certain hotspots, and she basically goes around town and just collects money all the time, fills up the machines and just collects money. And I found it just so inspiring that, despite being blind, she was able to find a way to make money. There really are no excuses. And as I was talking to her, the conversation was getting more on the point of what it takes to be successful. And she wrote something on a napkin for me. I think the best ideas always get written on napkins. And I made a little copy here, but basically she said, when you're young and you don't have direction, you're kind of like this. You get pulled in all different directions, but you basically are going nowhere. But as you become more mature and more purposeful and intentional in your life, you start having a focus and a direction that you want to go in. So with that in mind, number 2 is to plan. When I was doing my interview earlier this week with Derek Guajardo, he talked about how 98% of people do not even know what they want. 98% of people do not have a plan to achieve what they want, nor do they even know what they want. Don't be that. Be the 2% who does know what they want. Write down a vision for the year 2021. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to let go of and leave behind? Write that all down and then write a clear, concise, specific plan, journal on it, that you have to achieve that goal. Then you'll be a part of the 2% who at least has a plan to get where they want to go. Number 1, I already told you about one of the happiest moments of my year in 2020. Another moment was when my cousin called me and she said that she had watched one of my videos, a video about how to turn nervousness into excitement, which you can check out above, and that it helped her land a job that she had been going for a very long time. Number 1 is to be intentional and to really reflect on the things that brought you joy and the things that brought you down in the year 2020. Actually, write out a list of everything that made you happy in 2020, everything that made you feel a sense of triumph, and then also write down another list that has all the things that brought you down in 2020, all the things that made you feel like a failure or made you feel bad. Once you do that, set a vow or set an intention that you're going to spend more time doing the things that bring you joy and less time doing the things that brought you down. If you want to be dramatic like me, you can even burn the list of things that bring you down afterwards. Definitely is an option, and that's exactly what I'm going to do when I do this later in the day. This is something I do towards the end of the night, usually on New Year's, before I get toe up. So number 1 is very simply, everyone's different. What makes me happy may not make you happy. What I find boring, you might find to be very interesting. So write down a list of things that bring you joy and vow to do more of that in 2021. In 2021, choose joy. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you all a happy, safe, and fun new year. It's going to be an amazing year for you if you practice these tips. feel free to comment below with what your intention is for the year of 2021. What is one thing that you're committed to achieving, one new action you take, one new habit, or just an intention, a general intention or theme for the year? Comment below, and if you want me to hold you accountable, I'll even find a way to hold you accountable for that. So we're going to have a lot of fun in 2021. I got a lot of great things coming up, which are going to be amazing. And be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye 2020.